welcome to my very first Big Bang Theory Season 11 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am every watching or watching The Big Bang Theory, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. So with all that said, this will be The Big Bang Theory Season 11 Episode 1, the Season 11 premiere. The title of this episode is called The Proposal, and this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So following a surprise kiss from Dr. Ramona Nowinski, Sheldon hops on a plane and travels across the U.S. to Princeton University to propose to Amy. We've seen that already. Amy finds Sheldon on his knees and he asks her to, or on his knee, and he asks her to marry him. Immediately, Sheldon's phone rings and he answers it, not to be rude to callers, even though he just proposed to his girlfriend and now she's waiting to respond. Leonard and Penny, that's who it is, the callers. Amy wonders why he is answering the phone at the moment while the Hofstetters want to know where Sheldon has been. Sheldon explains about the kiss that shocks everyone, including Amy, and how that made Sheldon realize that Amy was the only woman he wanted to kiss for the rest of his life, which pleases her. Also, before he left, he consulted with Stephen Hawking and asked Amy's father for her hand. Penny is excited about them being engaged. However, Sheldon replies that she hasn't yet answered the question. An irritated Amy tells Sheldon, "Because you're on the phone." Sheldon realizes what he is doing and tells Leonard and Penny that he'll call them back. After a brief pause, he immediately continues the call, explaining that she said yes. Cheers, Leonard and Penny, cheers. First, Sheldon calls his mother, who is very happy for them. Sheldon explains how Ramona's kiss made him realize that Amy was the only woman for him, and then Mary wonders that since two women wanted Sheldon, that maybe she had been praying too hard. Afterwards, she tells God that what just happened to Sheldon was a mighty impressive miracle from how odd he is. Both Raj and Howard are excited about the news. Bernadette explains that she doesn't believe it, but she is actually responded to a positive pregnancy test. Hallie is going to be a sister, so she's hearing that news and then realizes that she's positive in terms of she's pregnant again. Penny and Bernadette are having tea in Leonard and Penny's place, while Bernadette doesn't seem to be paying attention to Penny's talking about Sheldon wanting a Star Trek themed wedding. Bernadette drops the pregnancy news to Penny, who tries not to freak out like Bernadette had asked her to. Penny tries to make her friend feel good about the new blessing. Then they both change their tone and wonder what she was thinking when she was doing it again. Back at Sheldon and Amy's apartment, Sheldon is booking a plane back to Pasadena. This is actually back at Amy's apartment, where she is, not Sheldon and Amy's, but he's booking a plane to Pasadena. He only intended to come for a proposal. Amy wants him to stay a few days, which he agrees to after she suggests he can get some clothes at a nearby comic book store. Amy is having dinner that night with two of her colleagues and wants them to meet Sheldon, her fiance. They playfully kid each other that they aren't even married yet and she is already nagging him. Very true. Back at Caltech, the gang is having lunch and they notice Dr. Nowinski eating alone. Raj goes over to her and give her news about the engagement, although she already knows. Raj again twice asks her out, and that's it, her last chance. She hopes that it will be the last time. Raj makes a hasty retreat. Howard enters the kitchen and Bernadette shows him her positive pregnancy test. After exchanging a series of no's and yeses, Bernadette says they are both responsible adults and that they can handle it. Howard asks whether she is sure about that, and then Bernadette screams, "No!" Raj goes to the comic book store to buy Sheldon an engagement gift. Stuart is excited, though he is peeved that the couple had not called him Stewart suggests a statue of Superman and Wonder Woman, and Raj turns bitter about their engagement and asks if he has something for someone who is bitter and alone. And Stewart's like, anything in the store. At dinner, Sheldon meets Amy's colleagues as she gets goosebumps introducing her fiance. They are excited to meet Sheldon, but only want to talk about Amy's work. As usual, Sheldon wants to talk about himself. They do ask about Sheldon's military project, but he can't discuss it since it's classified. Returning to Amy's apartment, Sheldon is complaining that her friends were a little rude because they only wanted to talk about her and not him. Amy doesn't have a problem with them talking about her work, and then challenges Sheldon that he's not always the smartest person in the room, and he might not be the smartest person in the apartment, Amy suggests. Sheldon sarcastically asks if Neil deGrasse Tyson was behind the couch. Amy storms off to the bedroom while Sheldon looks for another room to storm off to, since the apartment only has one bedroom. Back at Leonard and Penny's, Howard and Bernadette are having dinner with Leonard and Penny, and Bernadette describes their news as surprise coming with crying and yelling, and Howard's turned down suggestion of sex even though he couldn't be more, or they couldn't be more pregnant. Then she realizes that this is a gift, even though Howard remarks that they already have one. Leonard and Penny assure them that Bernadette and Howard are amazing parents and they will do anything to help, except, as Bernadette suggests, have their own baby so they can go through it together. Leonard and Penny plan to have one when they're ready, or when she's planning to leave him over the subject. Raj continues to talk to Stewart about his bitterness since both of them are alone. Stewart then mentions that he actually has a date with someone, and he goes to it. Sheldon ends up discussing his argument with Amy and Stephen Hawking. Sheldon weighs in that his dinner companions were in the presence of world-class mind, and all they wanted to do was talk about themselves. Professor Hawkins can't get Sheldon to see the irony in his statement. Back at Leonard and Penny's, Leonard is holding chocolate cake with sprinkles. Penny wants to know if it's their anniversary, and Leonard says that he wants to celebrate them since there's so much going on in their friend's life. He didn't want her to feel sad about them having nothing for the moment. She is grateful and still takes the cake, while Leonard realizes that they both forgot their anniversary. So it is their anniversary. They forgot about it. Penny turns around with chocolate cake icing on her face and wishes him a happy anniversary. At Princeton, Sheldon apologizes to Amy using the example of Iron Man appearing in a Captain America movie. He can make a movie cameo without being mad that isn't an Iron Man movie. Sheldon should have handled dinner in such a manner. Amy thanked him. Sheldon had acted like Hulk, though Amy quickly cut off his adventure metaphors. Sheldon says that he is proud of Amy and they are a team, like the Los Angeles Dodgers. After embracing, he agrees to go back to Pasadena so she can experience the spotlight for herself. Amy replies that he just wants to return where everyone makes a fuss over him. He replies that her colleagues are right and that she is brilliant. They kiss. 3 months later, the rest of the gang are excited to see Amy gush over her engagement ring. Amy spies on Ramona and goes over to talk to her. Raj fears that something bad is going to happen, much like when his Aunt Newport, might have said that wrong, showed up at the family reunion with Samsari as his cousin. Ramona is nervous as she greets Amy. Amy hugs her, thanking her as a confused Ramona returns the hug. And the guys are, of course, equally shocked. And that's what ends this episode of The Big Bang Theory. So I like this episode a lot. Sorry this review went on for a while. Took a lot of notes. I'm going to give the episode a 9.2 out of 10. Sheldon is the character of the episode. And as many of you know, I rate Penny because that's the reason why I started watching The Big Bang Theory and one of the reasons why I continued. I'm going to give Penny a 7.2 out of 10. Her hair wasn't made up in this episode and it took away from her. So still a 7 or higher. That was awesome. So you've heard everything I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Big Bang Theory, and if you want to help me out the YouTube algorithm, please don't forget to Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of The Big Bang Theory. What would you rate it? who would be your character of the episode. And if you want to rate Pennyworth like I do, make sure you leave that in the comment section. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, share your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.